Hello everybody and welcome back. This is the second of our videos in the series that we're talking about digital transformation for SMBs and also what a CRM can do for your small and medium-sized business or enterprise. So welcome back, Ian. Great to have you here again. Thanks for joining. We're going to talk about, we've created a bit of a checklist, I think, very short, 4 items, but we're just going to enlarge on them a little bit about how you might choose a cloud-based CRM. We're saying cloud-based because, you know, there were some existing ones. Dynamics can still be got on-prem, and we know there are other ones that might be out there, but really we're promoting the idea that a cloud-based CRM fundamentally is going to be a different kind of beast and get you somewhere a lot quicker than maybe looking back at the old ways of doing things. Do you agree with that comment?
Wholeheartedly, Wendy, as you know, and my reasons for saying that is anything that's on-prem requires some security, some backup, management, updates. Whereas if you buy into the whole software as a service environment, you're buying that service. There's some very clever software somewhere in a data center that's doing all that for you. So you just forget that now and get on with the job. So for me, it just takes a whole heap of pressure off. I can sleep well at night knowing that all our customers that are on the Microsoft SaaS service have all that happening. So, you know, major updates twice a year just happen. You get notified of all the exciting new things that they've got there. Disaster recovery happens, backup happens. So why wouldn't you do that? And if you look at the costing as well, it's cost effective to do that. I do remember a customer saying to me, oh, well, I want it on-prem. Why? Security. Well, that's exactly why you don't want it on-prem. Yes. To put it bluntly, you know. So the next question is, well, how much did you spend on security last year? Well, we bought that bit of software and a firewall. But it wasn't $1 billion, was it? Which is the sort of money that Microsoft stake on security and what have you. So, you know, it's a very easy discussion to have. The answer is go cloud.
Yes, and retire those dusty old servers, definitely. So on our checklist next, we've got, does it integrate with your existing systems such as Outlook, Excel, Word, Teams? We're all using that, and then particularly in the remote working world, we're using Teams an awful lot. So I think that's a really important point, isn't it? If you've got a CRM, you want it to be able to work with your existing tools that you're looking at.
I think there's some fascinating research I've been reading recently about concentration. Which, as you know, I haven't got I've got no concentration.
You do yourself a disservice, Ian.
Honestly, I don't. And so reading this research, it really has some resonance with me. But it's, you know, the numbers of how long it takes you to get back into something if you break concentration, or if you move, particularly if you have to move between different platforms in software. Whereas if you've got an integration going on, so if you're able to interact with your Dynamics, or and activate your CRM from within Outlook, for example, that means you don't have to swap out. If you're in your CRM and you can actually know that you're booking an appointment or creating a task or sharing a team site with your colleagues without changing environment, that concentration factor remains. So lots of good reasons. And also, you're never moving data. Data's the same. So when you know somebody, they're in your Outlook, they're in your CRM, that's how to operate. It's huge advantages.
I think also the next point is about, will it scale with you as you grow? Now, this is kind of, you need to make sure that when you're looking at the licensing and the hosting costs for that might be in there for your data, will it become onerous as you get bigger, as you add more users? Does it require that you move to a different level of platform, or is it a kind of seamless flex that says, you know, add some new users essentially, and then you know that what the solution that you're choosing is really not a barrier to your growth, but an aid to your growth, which is something I think is so important.
Oh, really good point, Wendy. I think there's two dimensions to scalability. One is if I suddenly get very successful and I double my workforce, can it cope? Check. Yes. Okay. Super. Have I got to do anything about that? No. It happens in the background. I just license it. Again, some clever software manages that scaling. The other concept of scaling, though, for me, is around workloads. So maybe I've put sales in. Now I want to back that up with some marketing to increase my sales. Now I'm making more sales. Maybe I want to bring customer service alongside to maintain the continuity of my customer. Maybe then I want to also look at project management, etc., etc. So it's scaling in terms of workforce as well as actually pure volume, I think is important.
Yeah. And I think essentially you would want to make sure as an SMB you're looking at a solution that is a business platform for growth. So you're not having to go outside of that system in order to bring those workloads on, or pay, you know, a premium. So maybe some form of licensing that allows you to pay a slightly less amount for a full license if you're already running an existing part of the application ecosystem there. So I think that's a really important point. The next one is, can it be customized to suit your business? So there's a pro and a con to that, isn't there? Because you want to be able to take on a solution that doesn't need to be highly customized, because that's expensive. And if you are considering doing the customization yourself, that's also expensive, both in terms of time, effort, and also getting to grips with a new solution. And you may not actually have those skills. So it may be not particularly successful, I would posit. I mean, other people may not agree. However, I do think you want the possibility to have, say, something like a different kind of opportunity for if you're doing services to if you're doing products, for example. So I think that's quite an important thing to look at, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's be honest. No CRM system is built specifically for your company or organization. No. It isn't. Okay. We've had customers saying, well, you must have had a candle maker before, you must therefore will have the candle maker solution. They're a different company, and there will be nuances about the way you do things.
Yes.
So if you choose a platform that gives you the fundamental building blocks that can get started, to get you started, and going back to all the points we said before about scalability, one place for data, all that kind of good stuff, should be ability to share. But then to be able to perhaps think about different ways your processes work for sales. Can you adapt that? Can you easily build views, graphs, and dashboards that give you the feedback you need about your customers and your products and services? That type of thing. And then, is there the ability, because there's always a balance between doing it yourself or bringing in a team like ourselves. You know, there's a balance there. It goes, do you know what? These folks know how to do that. We'll bring them in to put this very specific piece of configuration or customization into place for something a bit cleverer down the line. But get to understand what the platform could do for you first before we start spending big money on those clever bits. Buy into a platform that will give you that core. Maybe it's a vertical solution, or maybe it's even horizontal. We do a lot of stuff for SMBs because they have very similar issues that we can beat. Yeah.
And that brings me really neatly, thank you, to the final point, which is, you know, can you be certain to find support with onboarding and user adoption to make the most of your investment and achieve a quick ROI? Because that's what everybody wants, isn't it? You want to be able to see the benefits coming back into your business quite quickly. And I think the nature of that partnering is actually one of the fundamental things. Have you found somebody that you feel able to trust with this important part of your business?
That word trust is huge. I think it's about also finding a partner isn't just about selling you licenses.
Yes.
It's a partner that wants to talk to you about talking about your business, because let's be honest, the customer knows their business and the partner knows what the platform can do. And if you can get the two talking, you can then get some really good leverage out of all that. So find yourself a partner that talks to you about what it is you're trying to achieve, but also define it in nice, discrete chunks. Back to your ROI. Okay, maybe we put sales productivity first. Get that in. Get some user adoption. Get some buy-in from everybody that is going to have a positive impact, and then take on the next stage and the next stage. It's that you can't eat an elephant in one sitting. You know, you've got to do it at a time. And I think that getting that small deployments is really valuable. What I also concerned about is, and you're passionate about this, I know, user adoption. If you don't talk to everybody in the organisation and get their views, so we're all getting the top people to use, but the people that are using this thing every day, they're the ones that will engage with these platforms most. You need to listen to them, make sure the platform fits their day-by-day requirements. Otherwise, you'll lose their focus, you'll lose their adoption, and that's a shame.
It would be a shame, wouldn't it? Especially if you've gone to all of this work, you know, gone down through the checklist, made your choices, you know, as a business owner or CTO or CEO, you know, you've made your choices, and then you really want to make sure that everybody in the business understands why you've made those choices, and you take them forward with you to this new vision of your business and the business growth that's going to come. And I think we need to stop here, because we've made a vow not to do very long videos this year, but to hopefully provide some useful content that is more around the kind of the solutions and the ways that they work, but perhaps less product based, so that we can enable people to make choices about what they want to do and to understand the whole marketplace. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining us, and we will be bringing another useful content video to you again soon.